Let's bring it over to one of my favorite segments that hasn't changed its name. It's Comics I Copped. Look at that. I'm throwing shade on my own show.
What's new, Ben?
I know.
Not this name. It ain't new.
Let me tell you what's new. There was calamari and it was great.
Oh, please.
Calamari's always great, man. That's one thing. I got a shellfish allergy, and I can even tell you the calamari.
If you guys on Twitter, just search calamari. It's the most hilarious thing.
Yes.
Hopefully the right thing comes up for you.
For real. But yes, Comics I Copped, where we talk about all the comics that we all cop. Use that hashtag Comics I Copped on Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere. Let me know what you're reading right now. And I got a couple books to talk about. If you're following me on Instagram at DJ Ben, you might have seen these because I posted these when I copped them. The New World by Alez Cott, friend of the show, has been on here before. He's the author of Generation Gone, one of my favorite books from, I think that was earlier this year or last year. Either way, great book. And Trad Moore, who is one of, Trad Moore is a monster. Like, I can't talk enough about this dude. Like, when you talk about action, he is one of the illest. And when you talk about, like, he's growing and growing as an artist, and it's just getting better and better. And I really want to shout out Heather Moore, who's the colorist on this book. This woman has never done a comic book before. All right, ever. This is her first comic book. And I'm sitting there looking at the colors, and I'm like, there's some psychedelic stuff. All right, The New World is a really ill story. It takes place like after there's been a nuclear war, and it takes place in America, in basically what has become New California. Like, America has been split into different regions, and New California takes up California and most of Texas, etc., and is like kind of like what America should be, or not even should be, like what America is right now, but to an extreme. So The New World is about a story about this Black woman who's part of the police force, which is like a reality TV show police force in New California. And she's tasked with arresting this rebel who's rebelling against the government, etc. They meet the night before she gets the job of taking him down on her reality TV show. The night they meet before in a club, they have sex. Things happen.
Okay.
And now she has to hunt this dude down who she is probably falling in love with. So it's one of these stories where it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet with a really ill twist of her being this cop on this reality TV show. And she's like the second highest cop on the reality TV show because she doesn't kill her targets. And the highest cop is straight up and down a murderer. So ill story, ill art. Alez Cott is one of the, he's just an ill writer. Like, he always has a whole lot to say with his stuff. Like, Generation Gone was one of my favorite limited series. Definitely check that out if you haven't. Just a really, really dope book. First issue. Just incredible art, incredible color, great story. Also, I picked up 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank from Black Mass Studios. And it is straight up and down what the title says. 4 kids walk into a bank. It's about 4 kids who are forced to rob a bank, for some really ill reasons. I really enjoyed it. I have to say the ending, no spoilers, but the ending, it's one of them things. It was kind of like the last episode of Lost. Like, as much as I love that series, the last episode was like whatever to me. Like, the story was great. Mm-hmm. And in the very ending of the book, I was kind of like, nah. All right, but the story is so dope. Like, 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank, has great art. It's like really ill storytelling techniques, the way they tell the story. You will instantly fall in love with the 4 kids. It's like Stranger Things, where you just love these kids so much. It was just one of the things, maybe I just wanted more. I wanted more story. And it ends, and I'm like, oh, man, like, But definitely check it out. Great story, just... No superheroes, none of that stuff. It's just 4 kids, who rob a bank.
I like it. I'm going to pick that up.
Yeah, it's really great. Great graphic novel. Really great art, like I said, from Black Mass Studios. Check it. Anything from you, Jeff, tonight on the comics?
Yeah. I have read the first issue of the relaunch of Fantastic Four. Is Dan Slott picking up the mantle, and if you've been reading everything that's happened since Secret Wars, this is everybody coming to grips with the fact that the Fantastic Four are no longer around, which clearly they're going to be around. But it's really storytelling from the perspective of Johnny and Ben, the last two that didn't get tapped to go re-image the whole multiverse. So
it was a lot of work.
Yeah, right. Like
good job if you can get it.
You're good. Yo, stay on Earth. Don't worry. We'll call you. I think we got free nights and weekends in Earth.
Like, what do you do? Turn to fire and your rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take Valeria and Franklin because I think their skill set is a little bit more adequate. But don't worry, don't call us. We'll call you. And that's essentially what happens in the first issue. And it was really good. It's a good start, especially for people who have been reading the Secret Wars and everything since then. It's good. I think they're trying to build that gap between what's happened, because Secret Wars was like 2 years ago. It's crazy. They've been gone for a minute and now they're back. So I enjoyed it. There's a couple of back. They have a Doom story and something else that I didn't get to, but the main and Dan Slott writes the whole thing. Sarah Pacelli's on the pens, on the ink. So I have to get a chance to read that, but those were cool. What else? Batman 52 I read. That was real good, whereas basically Bruce making the case against himself as Batman as to why Mr. Freeze
trash.
Like he's treating Mr. Freeze like he was OJ. Yeah. It's ill. It's ill because they tie in the events of how he got to Freeze with him making the case why there should be some type of reasonable doubt. And I tell you, man, you leave a superhero at the altar and everything goes to shit, right? So I think that it's just phenomenal storytelling.
Tom King.
And imagine the richest dude at the table saying, I think we should stay in jury duty for a couple of hours. Just imagine that. And every response you think he gets in this episode, in this book. So that's good. Amazing Spider-Man #3. It's continuing the opening arc. Peter Parker and Spider-Man are dealing with the effects of something that happens in the previous issue. And listen to what I said, because it's exactly what I said. Ryan Ottley is breathtaking.
I mean, bruh. Now you know.
Like Jay-Z said, if he could rhyme, he'd rhyme like Talib Kweli. If I could draw, I think I'd draw like Ryan Ottley. It's only three issues. This dude Spider-Man is impeccable. I'm still getting used to the faces of the women, but the Spider-Man is like, you can eat off the pages.
Jeff, you have got to read Invincible, Jeff.
I have to. Like, I just every moment.
Because in Invincible, you get to see his progress. Because when he first came on, Corey Walker was drawing, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna miss Corey. And it took me like 3 or 4 issues, and then Ryan started getting better and better and better, and turning into this monster that he is now. Like there's an issue of all splash pages that's just one of the greatest things ever. It's like the dude he's a problem.
Yeah,
he's a problem.
He don't make no sense. Like he just doesn't make sense. So I would definitely pick those up. There's some good reads and some good reads coming out this week too. I have a lot of catching up to do. I have a whole lot of catching up. So future episodes of #Comics I Copped TM. I'll drop those off.
Word up. And also this week, the new issue of Wicked and Divine drops. I've already got to read it. It's the finale of the latest arc. And it's nowhere near as bad as last issue. If you read last issue by now, last issue was a heartbreaker. It was a crusher, as a lot of these issues are. But there's a lot of revelations, and a very big revelation at the end of this issue that had me like, what are they talking about? Like, where I'm like, I can't wait for tomorrow or today when you hear this episode so I can talk about this with everyone, because I have no idea what they meant. But I love it. Wicked and Divine still, like I've said again and again, is going down as one of my favorite, probably top 5 books of all time. Right up there with Invincible, right up there with anything Grant Morrison has. I mean, anything you want to put up there. Tom King, Vision. I mean, all the greats. Comics I Copped.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have any novels I copped?
Not even novels.
Nonfiction I've copped.
I did want to comment just again on the praises that Ben was leaving for Wicked and Divine, that the what's it called, the replay, well, in games, the replay value, the readability of the book is high.
Really?
High.
You understand now?
Yes, it's like it doesn't matter if you've read the whole thing 2 times, 3 times, don't matter. It still holds up, and that is a testament to great writing, great forward thinking, great world building, great story building. And it's one of those types of things where in the writing itself, as well as the art, you notice things that you did not notice before, and you connect the dots in different ways. So it's a full bodies, robust series. I love it. It's I mean, not that I have the comic book knowledge that you do, like you have, Ben, but I gotta say that's
that's one of my favorite things about Wicked and Divine. It's one of those books, one, you don't need to read any comic book ever. It's not even a book where you need like a history of comics.
No,
like something like Watchmen. Like Watchmen, you really need to know the thing they're aping and talking about. You need to know all these tropes and stuff. Wicked and Divine, you might need to know music, to really help more music. And it'll put you on the music. You want to talk about a book that puts you on the music. It put me on the mad music.
Yes.
And it is just, but like you said, the readability, the way, like as a writer, the way it's plotted drives me nuts, because so many things that I'm like, you motherfucker, like, and I just look back like, So yeah, check out Wicked and Divine. The latest issue completes the latest trade. There's only 7 more issues, I think, after this one, plus 2 specials, and it wraps up pretty soon. It hurts. But, all great things have to come to an end. Like Fanbro Show.
And Brian K. Fong, you still got a fade for me for leaving that damn book for a year, at least a year.
New trade of Saga drops. I can't wait. Yes. But like I said, Fanbro Show is over. But we do not stop. As Combat Jack would say, it does not stop. Welcome to the new era. This is the For All Nerds show. Make sure you check out our patreon.com/forallnerds. Check out all the great tiers, all the great stuff that we have for you right there. Thank you for all your support throughout the years and into the future. Anything else before we get out of here tonight?
The new logo is in Technicolor and surround sound. So the spirit and the mood of the original is always going to be there.
Blah.